Have you ever put on a shirt and just thought, wow, this feels perfect? Well, that's not magic. It's a hidden, super detailed process called quality control. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the textile industry and see the incredible journey that turns raw fluff into the flawless fabrics we all love. Let's get into it.
Seriously, just think about a brand new kurta. It's crisp, the color is perfect, the feel is just right. How in the world does that happen? Well, I can tell you, it is absolutely not an accident. It's the end result of a really intense, behind-the-scenes journey that starts way before that fabric ever sees the light of day.
So, where does a journey like that even begin? It all kicks off with the idea of quality itself. See, in the textile world, quality isn't something you just check for at the end. No way. It's the foundation. It's the promise you make right from the very first step. Okay, so let's define our terms. What exactly is quality control, or QC as you'll hear it called? Put simply, it's a systematic process. And that word, systematic, is everything here. It means there's a plan, a checklist, a set of incredibly high standards for quality, performance, and consistency that are checked at every single stage. And why is this so important, especially for a textile giant like India? Well, it's about so much more than just nice-looking clothes. Good QC builds India's brand reputation all over the world, which is absolutely critical for our export market. It also cuts down on costly waste, which is better for business and the planet. And at the end of the day, it's about trust. Our trust as the people buying the clothes, and more importantly, the safety of technical fabrics used in things like firefighting gear or hospital gowns, where quality can literally be a matter of life and death. All right, now that we get why it's so critical, let's jump into the how. We're heading to the very first stop on the journey. The checkpoint where raw fiber starts its transformation into yarn. Before a single thread is even spun, the raw material itself faces its first big test. Just picture it. A truckload of cotton arrives at a mill, maybe from a farm in Maharashtra. They don't just take it and start spinning. Oh no. That cotton goes through a whole series of tough checks. Only the absolute best of the best gets the green light. You can think of it as the ultimate gatekeeper of quality. So what are they actually looking for? It really boils down to four key things. First, you got fiber length. Longer fibers make for smoother, stronger yarn. Then there's strength for obvious reasons. You want durable fabric. Cleanliness is also huge because any little bit of leaf or dirt can cause a defect later. And finally, uniformity, to make sure the final product has that consistent, even feel. If you mess up any one of these, you're just creating bigger problems down the line. Okay, from the lab to the factory floor. This is where the real action is, where yarn finally becomes fabric. And this is where we introduce a really crucial concept, in-process control. This slide shows the huge difference between the old way and the new way. The reactive approach was to just make a whole batch of fabric and then inspect it. If you found a flaw, oops, you might have to throw the whole lot out. But the modern, proactive approach, this in-process control, it's like giving the fabric a health checkup in real time. You prevent the defects from ever happening, which saves an incredible amount of time, money, and material. It's just smarter.
So what does that look like on the weaving floor? Well, it means operators are constantly, and I mean constantly, monitoring everything. They're checking the tension of the yarn, the speed of the machines, the structure of the weave. If a single thread breaks or a pattern is just a tiny bit off, it gets caught and fixed on the spot, not hours later when it's too late. All right, our fabric has been woven, it's been dyed, it's been finished. But it's not ready to leave the mill yet, not by a long shot. Now it has to face its final and maybe its most difficult challenge, the last gatekeeper.
This final stage is really a two-part exam. First up is a super detailed visual inspection. Imagine the fabric stretched out over a big light table, with trained inspectors scanning every single centimeter for the tiniest flaw. A small stain, a pinhole, a slight difference in color. And then it's off to the lab for the hard science.
They'll stretch it, pull it, try to rip it, and wash it over and over to test its strength, to see if it shrinks, and to make sure that gorgeous color isn't going to fade on you after one wash.
And here's the bottom line with all this testing. It takes all the subjectivity out of the equation. It's not about what one person thinks looks good. It's about cold, hard data. That data is the final proof that the fabric meets the exact standards it was designed for. It's the secret sauce for consistency, making sure every meter of fabric is just as perfect as the last.
So we've followed the fabric's journey pretty closely, but believe it or not, the story doesn't stop here. For our final section, let's look ahead to the incredibly smart future of quality control that's already starting to happen.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows you just how far we've come. We went from simply relying on the human eye to using complex data and statistics. And now we're on the edge of a brand new era, full automation. We're talking about AI-powered cameras and sensors that can spot flaws the human eye would never, ever catch, monitoring the whole process with a mind-blowing level of precision.
And the benefits are just massive. These new systems aren't just faster and more efficient, they're smarter. They reduce human error down to almost zero. They can spot a tiny flaw in real time. And maybe the most amazing part? They can use data to actually predict when a machine is about to make a mistake and prevent it before it even happens. That's a complete game changer.
So, all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. As this amazing technology makes perfectly flawless fabric the new standard, the new normal, how is our whole idea of quality going to change? Will we start to care more about where our materials come from, about sustainability? Or will quality mean clothes with technology woven right into them? The possibilities are really fascinating to think about.